Next, we have data classification policy. So important thing is when we have data, you classify data, and this classification depends on some labels. We'll discuss this. So that's objective. So every data must have a data owner. So if it is a document, it's a document owner. If it is an asset like server or database, it's an asset owner. And that's the job of asset owner or data owner to classify it. Okay. Now, we have these roles and responsibilities. It's generic. So the scope, it applies to all employees, contractors, and vendors. Now, this is important stuff. So data classification description. So we have 4 different classes where we can classify the data. The first one is public. Then next one is internal use, which is company-wide use. Next is confidential, and next is highly confidential. So these are the 4 data classification, and this depends on company if they want to add some more different classes into data classification. So public data, it means this can be available to any general public. So all social media posts or marketing posts, so this is categorized as public data. The next one is internal data. Now let's say once any employee joined to company, they see all the company policies and they can check all other employee details. So this is only available to internal employees. So the data which are available to all internal employees, we term it as internal data. But any other person outside the company cannot access that data. Okay. The next one is confidential data. So example, an employee joined a company, so they can see all internal data. Now, but let's say that employee goes to a project. Now, employee will get access only to that project source code or that project documents. That employee will not get access to any other project in the same company. So we may have some data which should be restricted to a certain project or certain teams. So that we call as confidential data. So it should not be shared to all employees. Internal data is shared with all employees, but confidential data is only shared to some set of employees depending on the needs. And restricted or highly confidential data, so this is highly sensitive data. It's limited to a handful of individuals, like production access or company financial records, payment details. So these are highly confidential data, and this should be only restricted to, example, let's say less than 10 employees. So that's a classification. Public, internal, confidential, and highly confidential. Now, these are some of the policy statements. Encryption in transit recommended for public data.